Welcome back to the allotment. I've got a few jobs to do today, a few bigger jobs to do today. Been some good weather, so we can get down here. There's quite a few people down here today, a few people strimming and all sorts. I think it's all go now. So I've got two big things to do. I've managed to get some bark chips, so I'm going to get those down on a little bit of the paths. And I've also got the wood for the courgette bed, so I'm going to get that. At home I've built the ends, screwed it together and pre-drilled the holes so I can just screw the sides on. So I'll show you where that's going to go and put that together. And I'm going to try and fill it out of, I'm going to put some of the rotted manure in it at the bottom, and then I'm going to fill the rest out of our compost bin, hopefully. So I'll show you that. I'll try and do that. And I've brought 2 courgettes down to put in it, so we'll see how that goes. There's also the grass and things is sort of growing up around the beds, so if I get time I'll start to tidy them up a little bit. Might need to mow at some point. Yeah, just pull a few of those up. I'll have to come down and do some of the weeds another day when I've got some gloves. But yeah, and I'll show you around. It's all starting to kick off now. It's warming up. I've managed to source some wood chips to try it on the paths. So I've got my trusty plastic boxes. I get the topsoil in. Yeah, so I've got five boxes filled up, and it's quite good. It's nice and dry. It's nice good stuff. So I'm going to put this on the paths, and this side with the potatoes on is already got plastic all throughout it. So I think I'll start on this side, and I'll perhaps start there, and so I'm not in the way of the new bed. I'll start that brick and just fill up these paths, perhaps do the main path first and see how far we get. And yeah, I don't know how far it will go quite, and I'll probably need to get some more at some point. But I'll put some of that down and I'll show you how it looks. We've laid out all 5 boxes, so that actually did probably better than I thought it was going to do. So I've done all the way down the middle of these 6 beds, and I've done the 2 cross paths. I haven't done past here, so it doesn't get in the way next time we're doing a bed. But yeah, so that's probably a third of the lot, just over a third. That's done. I'm not sure how big those boxes are. I don't know if they're 50 or 75 litre boxes. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. It looks really good. Makes the allotment look a lot cleaner, a lot smarter. And I've pulled up some bits of grass and things that were growing in between. Still got a few bits of plastic sort of sticking out, but I don't mind that too much because it'll keep the weeds down. Stop it all sort of just scrunching into the soil when it's wet and things. Yeah, and we'll see how it gets on this season, and see if that's the way to go. I'm going to try and source some more, and we'll try and do the other side. Perhaps try and do that middle path next. I've got some plastic I can put down there, and we can put all the way down the middle. That's sort of the main place I walk quite a lot. But I thought I'd do over here because this will have the potatoes growing, and once they've grown in a month or so's time, it'll be hard to get in between. So yeah, that's all them paths done. This is the space we're going to be putting the new bed in. So it's next to the kale and the water butt there. So I'm going to put it right up against the water butt, and leave the path this end and down the middle, and it'll come right up to this side. So at home, I've got the 4 sides, and I've drilled the holes at the ends so we can screw in without splitting it. And I've made up the ends. I've cut them to size, put a bit of a batten on the end to hold them together and screw into. Yep, so they're ready to go. I've got my screwdriver and some screws, and I've got a saw just in case it was too long, but I think it's going to be okay. So I just need to pull these bricks off, and this plastic, and I'll use some of the plastic for the path. But yeah, firstly I've got to pull it off. I've got these courgettes if I get time to do them, if I've got enough compost. So I've got one of the yellow ones and one of the green ones. Actually labelled them up this year, so I know what's what. They're they're dying to get in the ground, so hopefully I can get them in. I've got 2 in at home, and I'm gonna have 2 here, so we can pick the ones at home nice and small, and then the ones here I'll grab as I come down. I've pulled that plastic back, got rid of all the rocks and stones, and I've pulled along this side. There was a big bit of wood which was sort of making an edge, which actually kept it quite nice and straight. So I've took that out, and I've just dug out a load of the weeds just so they don't keep coming back. Most of it, there's sort of a lump in the middle, but I think it's fairly flat this end, so I don't think I need to dig too much to flatten it out. So it's ready to go now. I'm going to put the boards together, and I'll show you how that looks once it's all screwed together. And I can work, once it's sort of screwed up, I can work out where it's going to go, and yeah, try and start filling it. I've got the bed all screwed together now. Try to level it the best I can and get it in line with these other beds. There's a little bit, it raises up a little bit towards the back, but the whole site does. Yes, it's pretty good. It does go right up against the water butt, so I won't be able to walk through there, but I can shoot through this path here. I'll normally be coming from that side anyway, from the water side. When I'm watering, I'll be coming from that side anyway, so it's not too much of a problem. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Glad that hole's finally filled in. Last sort of bed of the main ones. Yeah, I'm going to go through the compost now. I'm just going to take the bits off the top that are not rotted yet, and see how much we can get out of it. There's our new shiny bed full of compost. So I've put a little bit of horse manure that had been rotting in a bag for over a year, I think, in the bottom. And then I filled it up with the compost out of our compost bin. I'm really pleased with that. I mean, I haven't sieved it or anything, but it's broken down really nicely. The only thing that hasn't, and made it a bit difficult to dig out, was the sweet corn stems. So I think next year I won't put those in the compost. I'll just put them on the communal fire, because they're quite sort of fibrous, so they don't really break down as well. They might do if you've got a hotter compost or something. Yeah, but that's what I found this year, so I'm really pleased with that. That's all free compost, homemade compost, so that's very nice to sort of close the circle. Yeah, so got that in. I might at some point put some more sort of soil improver or compost on the top when I get some, but I think it's will be pretty good to grow in. So I've got my 2 courgettes up on the water butt there. I'm going to pop them in, just space them evenly. That's what I did, same as I did last year. That worked really well for the size of the bed. Yeah, so I'll get them in. I've got my green courgette this end, yellow on that end. Hopefully, I'm hoping at some point to try and find something to train up this water butt. I don't know whether to try and put a rose maybe at the back and let it, a climbing rose up it, that'd look quite nice. Or if we could use it, something like, I don't know, something like grapes or something like that, just sort of nice. It'd be nice to sort of cover that over a bit and make it look pretty. I'm trying to get some more sort of flowers in this year. I bought some marigold seeds, so I was going to plant them with tomatoes. They sort of go well together to help get rid of the different diseases, I think. Yeah, and just pretty the place up a bit. So I'll do that at home, and I might bring some flowers down here. At home, I think I was going to put some lettuce in with the courgettes while they get going. Just use that space up. Yeah, so that's that job done. I'm really pleased with that. Looks really good. Really happy to finally fill that space. It's been bugging me that hasn't been done. It's a nice sort of full-size bed. That'll be really useful. At some point, I keep having ideas about this back space. It is under trees and things, so it's not quite so useful, but it seems a shame to waste it. It does slope down towards that ditch as well, so I would have to do a bit of digging. But yeah, at some point I might put something there, but that's probably a plan for another year, maybe autumn, unless I'm feeling enthusiastic at some point. And the wood chips, looking really good, really pleased with that. Now this bed's in, next time I can get some, I need to get some plastic for the path, and I'll get some more wood chips to put on it. Yeah, and I'll show you around the rest. So we've got our 2 courgettes in. Hopefully they'll do all right. We're both supposed to be past all the frosts now, so hopefully they'll be all right. I have got a few more at home spare just in case. In the bed next to it, got the kale. So I put this plastic roofing sheet just over it just to see if it would help at all. One thing it has done is means I'm going to need to water it, but they are doing really nicely under there. And they're bigger compared to the ones that were outside of it, so I think it definitely helped. So yeah, I need to water that before I go. But yeah, happy they're growing on. And then the next 3 beds on this side, so we've got our main crop potatoes, which haven't done much yet, obviously. We've got our second crop. Again, I can't see any of those, I don't think, yet. And our first crop potatoes are coming up, so we've got a few in this bed and a couple at the end of this bed, just starting to peak up, which I'm really happy about, because I was worried that the sort of final frost might have got them, but it seems to have done okay. And they're Maris Bard, those first earlies in these 2 beds. So yeah, hopefully they'll have some lovely little potatoes soon. Over the other side, we've got our garlic at the back. That's doing very nicely. Definitely, this side's definitely winning the beds. Looking good. Broad beans are growing up quite a lot. I'm going to take the netting off them, I think, now, because they're starting to push it up. So I'll do that in a minute. And there's some nice flowers on them. So I might get some beans before I start putting something else in those beds. Next to, we did have peas in here. There is 1 pea at the back there that's making a brave go for it, but the rest of the bed hasn't really done anything. So soon I'm going to fill this up with some more compost, get that a lot higher, and I think in this bed we were going to put the sweet corn, beans and pumpkins or squash. I'll check my chart, but yeah, I'll do that in a couple of weeks probably. And on the other side we've got the red onions, and they have done really well. We've got these 2 beds here as well of red onions, and last week or so, I think it must be some of the rain we've had, they've really started to bulb up. So you really see some nice red under there. So I'm quite hopeful for those. They're looking really nice. Yeah, so all in all, we've got quite a lot growing, which is quite nice to see it starting to take shape. The last couple of jobs, I'm just going to water. I don't need to water most of this because it has rained on and off, but I'll water in the new courgettes and the kale, and I'll take this netting off. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Finally seeing the new bed in place, and new path. Path's looking really good. Looking forward to getting the rest of the allotment done in it, just to tidy it up a bit, and it'll make it easier when it does rain. It does get a bit boggy. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that today. Let me know how you're getting on. I'm still sort of not sure whether to put out my tomatoes. I've got 2 beds at home this size that I was going to put tomatoes in. I've got some cherry tomatoes and some larger ones. I think it's probably safe now the frosts are over, and they definitely need to go out. So yeah, let us know if you've got yours outside yet and how they're getting on. Might encourage me to get those out, and make space on the windowsill for growing beans and things, and squash. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you soon.